Hey guys, it's Mo in the Deep End live and in person on the Ninjanet here with
Hey,
Yay!
how you doing?
Okay, I don't know what gets into me some days, but today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be 6 from Blossom today.
There you go. Why not?
What the heck did I do here? it, it I'm hearing myself in my own, not my head, but I have a window open somewhere and I'm trying to
Oh, that might have just
uh,
been my phone. I forgot to mute it.
no, I was hearing it in so I've got
Oh, okay.
excited. You're turning 21. That is
Oh, what a baby.
I know that's awesome. You know what? I wish I had a lot of wisdom that wasn't,
Yeah.
ain't that the truth all the time here and extra special. I wish I had some really super duper exciting wisdom to tell you.
There you go. Cat asshole.
Well, so Salvador got you a cat, but and I will say trust your inner voice. Oh my god, your cat picture. I'm gonna have an entire demented cat picture um thing because you sent me the John Hinckley Jr. Cat
Yeah.
picture.
Oh, guy's a
Because
national treasure.
that man is a national treasure. But oh, well, then my wisdom is revoked. Just revoked.
I once thought about doing a joke on Twitter where I say it's my birthday every single day. But then the first time I did it, people started saying happy birthday and I felt bad.
We don't read. Context is not a thing.
Oh, well, there you
Oh,
go.
well, okay, then wisdom
I trust you.
reinstated partially with conditions we don't stipulate. Yeah, apparently today I was like, you know what? After that verdict where people
Yeah.
also can't read and can't uh, you know, figure out what intent means, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to be 6 from Blossom today because why not? Also, oh, I'm moving to Fedorowski's country.
Oh,
Um, I'll be back. Which is, as much as the boxed wine thing is definitely my meme, I don't drink that much. Now, what I do is when phrasing, I know.
I didn't say anything.
Well, so I am the queen of finding like booze on clearance. So sometimes Meyer will clear out their section and I am a red like little tag bargain hunter. So I will get like bottles of vodka for $5 and tequila for like $6. And I don't we have a store for the end times because look, I am not distilling my own bathtub gin until it becomes a
Apocalyptic.
yeah. Okay, let me tell you what this woman at the daggone Myers and look, I am in the Midwest. We add an S to Meyer, Kroger, and Revelation, okay? But, so I am buying my discount booze as I do at Meijer, and the woman looks at the thing and she says, "You're 38. My daughter's 38." And I was like, "Do I know you?" And then I felt bad because I was like, "You know what? At least she asks me for my card," because in Indiana, it used to be if you looked under 80, they had to card you, and then
Oh,
I'm guessing old people that vote were like, "We ain't having this."
I don't know.
So no.
One time at Walgreens, I was buying some alcohol, and the cashier turned out to be my lunch lady from elementary school, and she recognized me.
Well, my biggest thing is so I profile cashiers. I'm just gonna say it, and I profile by if you are an older woman who knows how to double bag and not put a, thing of bread in with some cans, I am picking you. But my Kroger has a decoy. They have a man that looks about your age, Salvador, with a full beard. Okay, full beard. So I go up with some booze, and he's like, I am so sorry, ma'am, but I cannot, sir, I cannot, check this out because I am only 18. And I'm like, the hell you are. I was like,
go ahead.
you are not allowed to have a beard. God dang it. I got in this line thinking I wouldn't have to wait for someone to come check out my daggone booze.
They have to get a different cashier?
In Indiana, if say I think you're under 21, you are not allowed to actually physically check it out.
Good Lord. I allegedly, when I worked at a convenience store, allegedly sold alcohol to my friends with the manager or owner's permission. Hey, Luna. It was wild times. Fat Iraqi.
I'm just sad. I'm sad
I'm
for
old
all of
enough.
us.
I'm mad when they card me.
Well, you're a male. I'm a female, so I'm old if they don't card me. But then if they want to shout my age out, I'm also like, ma'am. I did not go to the self-checkout because that mirror will make you feel like you belong in Shrek in the daggone thing. So I purposely went to you so I would feel okay about myself. Ladies, it's like the nail salon when you go in and they're like, oh, you feet. And you're like, well, okay. And they're like, you want us to do your makeup? You not do makeup. And I was like, usually I just have to ask my kids how I'm looking and I get my ego deflated. But thanks for that. And no, I don't want your eyebrows. You look really wiry hangers today. Like no more wire hangers. And it's kind of creeping me out. I feel like I'm going to have to scrub a bathroom somewhere. I may or may not have identified with that movie.
Oh yeah, I'm on my fourth anniversary of turning 29.
Well, let us get down to business because we are going to, in theory, stay on track because this is a pretty, there's a lot of stuff to cover. But basically what I wanted to start out with was there has been movement in the last 24 hours. There was a hearing today where the defense attorneys were trying to stipulate in limine that basically the ballistics don't prove what they think it proves. So they want to get this thrown out in limine so it's not even in front of the jury in any way, shape, or form. Now, my local contact, because I did say, hey, if you can, find out if you're able to, if they're available to the public, if you can tell me where to get these documents so we can go through and kind of, unlegal edit it and interpret. And she says that those particular papers are not even on like the IndieGov kind of thing.
Really?
So it's really, she has been an appellate attorney she is a woman of unknown vintage, but awesomeness.
Leisure.
So it is, but she said in all of her years, she has not seen a case handled like this. And I am exhausted trying to argue with people on the internet, which I rarely do. Well, you guys don't see.
Really?
So this is actually a Tokidoki Uno hat.
Oh my.
But it's, yeah. But it's, I thought, apparently I just have a big head. So it was the only hat that would work right now that was in my house because I felt like being Blossom. But so this paperwork wasn't even put in. I am going to try to talk to her to see if she would feel comfortable coming on because it's not technically in the district that she covers, but with appellate law, I mean, also, I want you to kind of take notice. I believe they will show in this clip. Let's see here. Go like this. Oh, I didn't even see it.
My mom got it for, I
And
think,
thank
Christmas.
you. I love it. Is it from Step Brothers
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Okay, I thought I am like the word. I can remember lines from movies, but sometimes in Step Brothers, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I just couldn't. Like one
Really?
time, yeah, like Blades of Fire or Blades of Glory, the one with Will Ferrell and the guy from Napoleon Dynamite being figure skaters. Yeah, that one needs to be assigned to hell. But we will go ahead and get this started because we have a lot to get through tonight.
Yes.
Now to our other big story of the day. In less than 4 hours, key decisions in the case against Richard Allen.
Right now, we know he's charged with 2 counts of murder in the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German. But today, a judge is set to rule on what comes next in this case. Let's get to our Samantha Johnson, who is live in Delphi this morning. And Sam, you are planning to be inside of the courtroom in just a few hours.
And it does look like there is a line to get in, so I'm trying to play by ear how busy it's going to be. It doesn't look like a formidable line,
Yeah, not
but
like a Johnny Depp line.
no, so what I am toying with at the moment is, should this go to trial, I will hopefully be able to kind of guesstimate, closing arguments, and that might be the day or weekend that I kind of like Airbnb it and,
Okay.
Hustle my bustle up there. But if not, we will watch on court TV. I mean, it is what it is.
What can you tell us about what's on the docket today?
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to break down exactly.
Does she not look hot mad?
Yeah,
Some of
fiery.
these key decisions coming up in just a minute. I also want to mention that this downtown area is now starting to come to life really in just the last few minutes. The police presence has increased. K-9 officers have already come through the scene here. You can even see a few people already lined up to make sure they get their spot inside this courtroom, because there are big decisions on the docket today that will shape the future of this case moving forward. And one of them that this community has been waiting for a long time. Judge Francis Gohl is expected to set a trial.
Okay, so Richard Allen does not look long for this world. If he did this, I'm not worried. But if this man has, on the very flimsy evidence that we have, is being, ticked over by the state, that's annoying to me.
Yeah. It's
Date today, and
it just sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
we have learned that this could actually happen by the end of the year. We're talking about Richard Allen going to trial in the next 6 months. Also on the docket today, there's a motion to suppress ballistics evidence in this case. And that motion actually just came this week from Allen's attorneys, who say right now they question the science used by the state to connect a gun found inside Allen.
I hear Nicholas in the background, junk science, like the Ricola, because I don't.
Home to an unspent bullet found with Abby Williams and Libby German. So today, Judge Gohl will consider whether to keep that evidence when this case heads to trial. Now, we also know there is a private meeting set for today for the judge to talk with the prosecution and defense about bringing in expert witnesses that Allen's attorneys want to hire for his defense. The judge has to approve those witnesses because when they're brought in, they're paid for by public tax dollars. So that is a private conversation that will happen later today. That public hearing is set to get underway this morning at 10 o'clock. We also anticipate there will be a conversation about whether or not Allen should stay in a state prison or be transferred back to a county jail. You can read more about the details of that motion right now at WTHR.com.
So that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. That is the big thing that has happened just in the last couple of days. They really want to, the defense team really wants to suppress this, ballistics evidence, which really, with what we're going through and what we've seen in the probable cause affidavit, it really looks like that is the only link. And the fact that he could have been there.
Yeah.
I keep furiously texting my friend, like, how in the actual WHT does this get to go whatever I just said.
WTH.
One of those letters. How
Close
does
enough.
how does a purple PT Cruiser minivan or smart car become a black 2016 Ford Focus?
Well, if he had a PT Cruiser, I'd probably convict him, to be honest.
Okay, I wanted a PT Cruiser, but I'm a girl, so
Thankfully, he never got one because they all broke.
I'm still sad about that. I might be the only 6-year-old that like, what's your dream car? Maybe like PT Cruiser, and like we have 800 of them back here, ma'am. You'll be fine. So the next thing, we were going to go kind of chronological in this one. So I am going to pull up the police conference that was right after they discovered the girls' bodies. Now there is the full one, and I will pull it up. It's about 20 minutes. But this is definitely so there's some deep you can go down a daggone rabbit hole with this thing. I wrote everything down because I had to find all of these things on different things and make sure I was getting, you know, older. Yeah, make sure I was getting older press conferences and things like that because I wanted to really get how we kind of found out things together, because this was this was and still is a giant case in Indiana. So let me see. I present. You know, so they supposedly have this like box thingy that you can put like all these buttons, and you can have like
Really?
pull up doodad, pull up. Look, y'all, the shadow government wants to stop the Moe and Shackelford
Church of Mo.
and Church Lady triple presidency run. That is just I don't know. They are just totally against my 3-person in one phrasing and Jodi Arias, damn it. Yeah, they will. They just can't, let me win. I am a powerhouse of different
Oh,
personalities
you're an
that would.
asshole, David.
Get the feet one.
Oh, I need her artwork.
Oh my God. So this is the very first press conference that they had. As you'll notice, it was on the 22nd of 2017. So this is, within less than 10 days of when this actually happened. Now, you will go down a rabbit hole when the sheriff comes up. People have said that he was trying to have a coded conversation a la BTK and the Zodiac with the killer. I don't know about all that. But people have gone like, you almost go full flat earth with some of this stuff. Like, I mean, this case has captivated just entire wings of the internet. And that's what I do worry about when this case goes to trial. If these YouTubers, these people that I am always first and upfront to say, look, if you want legal analysis and all the cop analysis and everything else, you go to somewhere else. This is like the Mo Tin Hattery duct tape production.
Yes.
But you have all these YouTubers that are telling people with the probable cause affidavit that we went over yesterday that this guy is super for serial, like man, bear, pig, all the guilties. And
it's no worse than any of the other YouTubers out there.
No, but it's going to be like it's going to be like when Rittenhouse was acquitted. because you had the entire mainstream media, you had a bunch, well, you had Law and Cook, and you
Were
had a
they
bunch of places.
now? I
I
don't
believe
remember.
that was the stream that Nick was pulling from, or maybe it
Yeah,
was Court TV. But you basically had all of the talking heads saying, "Look, he is all the guilties. He crossed state lines." I mean, now we did get to see one of the, most heartwarming things I've ever seen when Anna Kasparian had to apologize or get sued.
a couple of them did actually apologize. I mean, whether for financial reasons or sincerity, but
Yeah, well, and to be very fair, if you are just getting into trials, I mean, I was a sweet summer child once and I thought, okay, the state would never bring bogus charges. They would never, bring, things up when they didn't have the evidence. They would never do this. And then I saw Binger go full Binger. And I was like, well, I no longer trust my government. Where do I happen to get a Lucky Strikes hat so I can complete my Dale Gribble transformation?
I mean, that trial it started out like the first 3 days. It was kind of 50-50. Biener was doing an okay job. I mean, he started out with the whole Rittenhouse Chase Rosenbaum lie. But, I mean, that still blows my mind. But he did okay. And then it wasn't until Richie McGinnis that he screwed up. And then it just kept going.
Well, I think I can't figure out what my favorite part of that trial is. Is it when Lunchbox lost the will to live after
Gage,
Gage, super sober, decided to say, well, yeah, I was totally pointing a force multiplier in that guy's face. I'm tactically aware and associated, not affiliated with the Socialists of America.
Communists.
Oh,
It was full on communists.
oh, well, even smarter.
Yeah. I have a affiliated with, but I'm not an active card carrying member.
I'm sorry about your June birth. I have 2 June births. I know Lunchbox is like me when I'm trying to be low carb and and I walk into my Walmart and even though it's crap bread, Subway is baking a big old pan of bread and I'm like, Jesus be with me, for the carbs are a temptation. All right, let's get this started with. This is going to be pretty heavy, you guys. I mean, you can tell these cops are affected. In the dark heart of the internet that I can access, I do believe that there are some channels, as I was looking things up, that state that crime scene photos were leaked. I will go out down that rabbit hole, not today. And I'm never going to post those on my channel. That's just not my cup of tea. And I generally don't question people's morals, but that's some bad juju right there.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to screw with an investigation.
Good morning. On behalf of Sheriff Tove Lisadby,
Even
of the
as
Carroll
awful
County
as it
Sheriff's
is.
Department, who is the lead agency in this investigation, Delphi Mayor Shane Evans, I would like to welcome you to Delphi, Indiana, and Carroll County.
Now, I will, just for a little bit of background, I did mention this last night, but Carroll County is very small. I believe it had 2,600 people at the 2010 census, and I believe they didn't increase that much in the intervening years. So they immediately turned this case over to the state police because they have more resources and things like that.
It's not Mayberry.
It technically really, I mean, it really kind of was.
Yeah.
If you would allow me a little bit of latitude here before we get into the meat and potatoes of the press conference.
That's squeaking.
Give a couple of thank yous.
My door.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was on the video.
Oh, no.
We volunteer because we care. Again, we volunteer because we care. I saw that on a fire truck here in Delphi, Indiana yesterday.
1 second. I'm going to I have to take care of something real quick, and if you can hold the phone for
Sure.
me, or you know what I mean.
Yesterday. And I believe it's a way of life here in Delphi in the Carroll County community. Because the way this community has wrapped their arms around this investigation and provided not just resources for officers as they're investigating this case, but also their willingness to give us information and anything that we have asked, including this
Oh, it's gonna
church
go kick some ass.
today for the press conference that Pastor Todd has given us.
I'm so nervous
And of
now.
course, we want to thank the Delphi United Methodist Church for this facility today. Again, I would like to thank everyone who's given donations
I'm gonna steal her
and
channel.
any general support to this investigation. I would also
So
like
the deep
to
end.
thank in advance
I hobbled my
person
ass back before
who's
you could
gonna
take
call our
over.
tip line and give us that tidbit of information that's going to lead to the arrest of the murderers of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. And I would like to thank the media for their patience. I
Really?
understand there's information that you would like to get to your subscribers.
Yes.
Get out into the media.
Just started. I'll post the link.
But as you know, we have information as germane to our investigation that we have to keep close to the vest because this investigation is too important to make any mistakes and give out the wrong information. So again, I thank you for your support and your patience as we go through this case. There are a couple of acknowledgements I must introduce today, a couple of folks, department heads that are here. We have Delphi Mayor Shane Evans, Carroll County
What?
Prosecutor Rob Ives,
What? Oh, I'm trying. Yeah, I got, so my husband's like, there's nothing for dinner. And I said, I told everyone it was it was every man for himself night. Y'all know if your parents or you're just yourself. There is everyone knows how to work the air fryer. Everyone knows how to work the electric kettle if they want ramen noodles. I was just having a moment.
Air fryers are amazing.
You know, I haven't figured all of them out yet, but since I'm on kind of mostly carnivore, I'm just the electric griddle that's big enough because look, if you cook bacon for yourself, everyone's going to be surrounding you like a pack of piranhas. So you got to have bacon for
Carroll
everyone.
County Sheriff Tobe Lesenby,
Taupe lesbian?
Delphi
Lesenby.
Police Chief Steve
Okay,
Mullen,
that's all. I'm embarrassed.
Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter, FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge Greg Massa,
Thanks, Farrell.
and Captain Dave Burston, Chief Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police. Obviously, the reason we are here today is to give out information in the double homicide of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. On February 13th, Abigail Williams, 13, and Liberty German, 14, went on a hike at the Delphi Historic Trails. On February 13th, they were reported missing later in the afternoon
Wait,
when they
that's
failed to
the
return to a
wrong
pickup
channel. Hold
location
on.
as a family member returned to pick them up from their hike. After organized searches on February 14th, one of those search
It's bacon talk. That's how I do my bacon because I don't like I like flat bacon. I don't like it when it squiggles all up. I don't like gristle, but I like when it cooks enough. And you've now joined bacon talk. But yes, that's how I do mine. JKD Buck.
parties unfortunately found the bodies of the two teens. Evidence in this case has led investigators to believe this is a double
Oh,
homicide.
the mayor is
And
going to
that's
lose
what we're
it.
investigating at this time.
A little bit of a backstory on the mayor too. He was one of the youngest mayors ever elected. He was, in fact, I believe, in a maybe a county wide kind of meeting with other mayors when he got the news that Abby and Libby were missing, and he got himself out of that meeting and went back to help them search. So when I say this is a small town, I mean it's got like a main street. I mean, it was a little bit more closely connected than my small town because it was largely rural and we were surrounded by like corn farms where I grew up. But yeah, the mayor is about to lose it. So
Really?
Also shown
he's the
in front of me is an
guy.
enlarged.
He's the younger looking guy, kind of directly behind and a little bit cat a corner.
Hmm.
He's got the blue shirt and the blue tie. Right in front of the man who looks like he has more bags than I do under his eyes.
And constipated.
Well, some people's sad face look.
Depiction of a person believed to be the suspect in this case. We are actively looking for this person. We believe this person is our suspect.
Okay, I hate to keep pausing, but I want you guys to pay really close attention to the sketch that they give out, because this will be a kind of stumbling point for this investigation as we go along. In about 4 years from now, they are going to put out an entirely different sketch. Sorry, Salvador. Yeah. I love how we just got onto Bacon Chat, like, and tonight, oh gosh, that SNL thing with the ladies that talk about different things like, "Hi, my name is Janice, and we're just going to talk about nice things, apples and bacon." But definitely pay attention to the sketch. It's going to become integral in a lot of people getting their lives ruined because they were claimed as suspects. But you are also going to see, you know, that a lot of leads were kind of not really done, or they were done by internet sleuths. And when the media press conference came out with the new sketch, maybe not on the wider world, but people in Indiana were kind of pissed off. I mean, the general attitude was, you guys have been wasting 4 years. Okay.
We would like any information, regardless of how small or minute you might believe that information to be. It might be the one piece of a very large puzzle that helps us get this person in custody. So please call our tip line, 844-459-5786. And again, I would like, as we go through this press conference, to remind the media, there's going to be information that is germane to our investigation that we're not going to release today. But at the end of the press conference, we will have time for question and answers. So as we go through our speak.
Riley, I'm
not
with the Indiana
this.
State
What
Police.
did-
I'm the public information officer.
For the love of most holy, what did I do now? Y'all know I should never be allowed to internet by myself. Because I am all right. Well, we're going to get all the boomer moments done now.
To please hold your questions to the end of the press conference. So at this time, I would like to invite Indiana State Police Superintendent Douglas Carter to the podium.
Words tend to escape during these periods of time.
Okay, pay attention to this. This is where the internet done lost its mind and started like Zapruder filming this particular thing, especially because the police have been very close-lipped about, their entire investigation, and they've maintained a really big sense of secrecy. But people broke this down to the point where people say that there are references to the movie and book, The Shack, and that the police chief was, speaking in code and was, basically taunting the, suspect, kind of like the Green River Killer. They did that. They did that in BTK, and they did it in the Zodiac. Now, I don't know if any of it actually worked because BTK was so full of himself, he sent a file with his name on it, pretty much.
Times, and I've only had a couple of other situations in my lifetime. I'm able to stand before you and say that. Why Libby? Why Abby? Why Delphi? Why Carroll County? Why the region? Why the state? Why even in the nation? I say that because this is a classic example and a clear example that evil lives amongst us. To the family, to the community, the region, the state, as a leader of the Indiana State Police, I say, I am so very sorry. Resources. It's unlikely that any of you will ever see, nor will we ever see or experience again, the level of resources that are attached to this investigation. To the media. My gosh, all I can say is to give you my sincere thanks.
Hey,
See, this isn't like TV. There's a perception that this can be solved very quickly. Anything that we do can be.
I do want to give you guys a little bit of a warning. I mean, they all basically are going to cry. I mean, this rocked India. Okay, it rocked a lot of people's life here in Indiana. I had girls about this age. All the moms, were talking about it. And I think, in a general sense, if you're a parent, you kind of think, what would you do doing this? But having girls that age, being in the state, being in a fairly rural place where, I would kind of let my girls, wander to the park, wander to things. I mean, it definitely, it shocked the system.
sure.
Solve very quickly, but this is a testament that it can't, and we need you. We've needed you since last week. We need you today, and we need you tomorrow. And likely we'll need the media all
Oh,
across
now
this nation.
Eyebags is going to lose it. Y'all don't make me cry.
Good Lord.
So if a simple guy like me
Related to
you, I
George
say,
Soros? Sorry.
to the people dressed funny like me and those that represent the law enforcement profession, please understand we're human beings just like you. I'd stand anywhere in the nation with people standing behind me. And I would suggest to you that every time something like this happens, a little piece of us dies as well. But I also want you to understand how committed we are as a collective one, and we will continue. This has been briefed all the way up to the director of the FBI, Director Comey, and Greg Mass is going to.
Okay,
right.
so I have, this hat is also dual hat. Next stream, I will probably be getting into all of the various suspects that have been floated out there, matched the first sketch, kind of do a timeline of suspects, what we knew, when we knew it, who was floating, this particular person. In my tinfoil hat, completely not a lawyer or a detective, I just watch a lot of things. And I tend to look at things a little bit more analytically. I don't think this was the first offense for whoever did this. I believe that he will have committed crimes like this, but not exactly this particular. I believe the name of the National Parks killer was Gary Harris. But anyways, this man would stay in national parks, and he offed about 48 people because he would just leave them in the woods, and they were such disparate jurisdictions that they never quite matched up with anything until he basically got caught. Now, Indiana is the crossroads of America. We have several major highways, freeways, expressways going through our state. We're a straight line, to Canada and kind of just midway of everywhere. And Delphi is along one of the more heavily frequented routes to Chicago. Now, putting myself in the mind of the person who did this, I would be waiting. I would be lying in wait. I would have scouted out this area because he did make them cross terrain. I don't know that I so much consider there's only 3 of those movies. The one with Shia LaBeouf was a fever dream. And the new one is, well, I don't want to say torture porn, but torture porn.
Be better if we just did a Indiana Jones porn. And they probably
I'm pretty sure they already have that. Isn't that Rule 49 of the internet? Like
34.
Okay, that
Not that I
it
know.
is. Oh, well, as long as someone knows something.
The porn
So,
version.
so anyway, so what I'm saying is if I were this particular offender, I would have spots. So I would be like Israel Keys. I would have places where I've scouted out what I'm going to do. It is fairly high, like insanely high risk to approach 2 young females on a bridge where, you're going to have to capture,
Overpower.
subdue, make sure these girls don't run, make sure these girls don't scream. I mean, and you might have surveilled this particular area, but you can't, foresee that someone's going to just walk their way up at any time. That's why I think he had them go down the hill and across the way because that area is just covered in brush.
Okay.
Someone is arrested. And yesterday evening, we went over the probable cause affidavit. And what I will probably do this weekend is I really want to compare and contrast, since it's a fairly recent case, the probable cause affidavit that was, published with the Letitia Stalk trial versus the probable cause affidavit that has been made public with slight redactions in this trial. And you will see the amount of nothing they have. Now, again, probable cause affidavits, like we know in the Letitia Stalk trial, they did theirs before they had even found a body and knew anything about Florida. But they used, small bits of evidence like, the amount of blood that was found in the room definitely, spoke to someone being mortally injured. And the amount of blood, and then they had, different things. They don't have anything as far as I can see, and what my appellate attorney friend has been telling me. And you will definitely be able to see that. For people that weren't able to see last night, I do want to.
Alpha David.
It's his grandfather. They shortened it. They anglicized it just a little bit.
Did you ever see that Alpha David video?
No.
Okay, I'll send it to you sometime.
All right, so let's get back. But I did want to warn you guys that, yeah, that's why I really, that's what I'm really worried about. So here's my worry. My worry is that they lost precious time and community involvement and possibly the real suspect, because they will show a sketch given that they had compiled from the witness, interviews that they got for the probable cause affidavit. And this is what they show on this. And this is what was shown for about 4 years. Now, year 5, they come out with a complete, well, we are not lawn cook. We are better than that. We wait to see how they dress and if they've got a Brazilian butt lift, at least.
Hopefully.
We wait to see if they're married and dating. And then we're like,
hopefully this guy has one.
So but It is this weekend. I will definitely be going over those 2 affidavits because I am tired of typing myself hoarse trying to get people to listen. Like Law and C Word had something on this morning, and they're like, "He's totally guilty," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna have." I was like, I was putting down, do an exercise. Read the Letitia Stelk probable cause affidavit and then read his. Are you trying to defend a murder of babies? I was like, I know I shouldn't argue on the internet. Okay, never mind. Y'all,
We'll
fine.
talk a little bit about that. I've had an opportunity to speak to my boss, Governor Eric Holcomb, a couple different times about this situation. And every time I do, I see this look that comes over his face, just like yours in this community's. And that's the unfortunate experience of experiencing evil. We're not stopping. The poster in front of you. Someone knows who this individual is. Someone knows who this individual is. Is it a family member? Is it a neighbor? Is it an acquaintance? Is it an associate? Or maybe that one guy that lives over at that one place that just kind of not right.
Murph, let me know if she would like to talk, or they. Don't want to assume genders. But let me know if they'd like to talk, just kind of give a real sense of what Delphi was kind of like. That kind of. I have a feel for it mainly because I kind of grew up in a really rural area where, like all we had to do was to go to the Dairy Queen. Well, okay, and cooler, more kids that like to get out of their rooms would go drink in, cornfields, as you do.
Naturally. You ain't cool unless you drink in a cornfield.
It's Indiana. There's not a lot to do. You either go FFA or Breaking Bad. I mean, us in-betweeners are like,
Do you know the difference between corn? Like feed
we're
corn and regular corn?
no.
Oh, okay. You're not Iowa then.
No. I didn't get into either. I
Maybe
stayed
it's
in my
his
room.
jeans. Maybe it's his jacket or his sweatshirt. Maybe it's his shirt tail. Maybe it's his posture. Maybe it's the right hand in his pocket. You see, even with technology, we need human intelligence. In other words, we need you. I'm not suggesting that everything that we can do as science has been done, because we are just getting started.
This guy's kind of creepy.
Abby and Libby deserve us. They deserve every single one of us, and not just the people standing up here on the stage that have given so much of their lives to not just this, but to this profession, but each and every one of you. Each and every person listening, watching, or seeing this in some form, we need you. Libby and Abby need you. Please do not rationalize tips away. Rationalize what you think that might not be important away. By thinking he would never do that to another human being.
The man that they have in custody right now, Richard Allen, was the kind of working manager of, it's either CVS or Walgreens. I always get those two mixed up because they're like always usually cat a corner from each
Sure.
other to just confuse the hell out of me. But now this is allegedly, the grandmother remembers this, and okay, it was CVS. It was one of the things. Yeah, I ran across a couple of videos that stated that crime scene photos have gotten leaked. Now, that would have been big news. So I'm thinking that is fake. Yeah, people it's basically that's how I grew up. I mean, you don't lock your car doors. Ain't no one you see headlights coming down and it's not harvest time, where the farmers stay up until, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. They have to get that field done in one day. And, it's like the guy that we saw on the Peterson trial. He looked like the mom and them. That's what it is. And that's why when 5 years later we were given a different daggone, you know, sketch from completely different people, or they just pulled it out of their ass. I mean, they've released sweet F all to
Yeah.
help the public. They want the public to come forward, but they released, 2 more seconds at this press conference 5 years ago, or 5 years later with like another entire sketch that looks doggone nothing like the other one. What do I say wrong? Everything? Rural? Look,
Look.
fine. I'm going to say country because rural is hard to say. Yeah. But I mean, I say Jamie hard or wrong. God dang it. Look, yeah. All right, let's get back to, we are going to stay on
think
topic.
what I know
Damn
doesn't
it.
matter.
Yeah. Good luck with that with me.
Let folks like the people that are standing behind me with such incredible passion and commitment and dedication
Catty
to this
corner.
profession make that determination.
I'm not saying kitty corner around
Tips are
y'all.
anonymous. Some might not want to talk about it because they don't want to get involved,
There's some in Babu.
because they know the individual. Again, he may be a family member, probably has family.
Well, everyone
will
has
ever know.
family.
No one will ever know. There's not an agency on the planet better than helping us facilitate this than the FBI. And they're as entrenched in this as anybody. No one will know.
Oh, that's the problem.
No wonder they haven't really figured
As
it
poor
out
as
for
this
years.
picture is,
Going after Trump.
somebody knows. And if you're watching, we'll find.
Oh, he just gave a ma'am stare. I forgot the ma'am stare. Okay,
I did it.
I think he is one of the local detectives. I will tell you the guy that's being pretty much hidden by his shoulder is the mayor. And the mayor was, I believe, 27 at the time. He was the youngest elected mayor in Indiana. And he was, I mean, he was tore up. Everyone was tore up.
Find you. Who's next? I hate to ask you that question. I'd give my life to not have to. But I know you've asked yourself that very question. We must recognize that. You see, we're all the same. We're all human beings. We must keep our resolve for Libby and Abby, for this community, and frankly, to ensure
It's a
that good
regional
trumps
thing.
evil. And it will. You're going to hear more in just a minute about what we know. Do not discount the voice that you'll hear. We will stay committed with resolve, very rarely exhibited with human behavior until this conclusion. Please be patient. Become our partners and communicate with us as often as you can. And now, from a very humble servant, that's the most blessed guy on this planet to represent the profession that I represent, to Abby and Libby. It's my hope and my prayer that you're now experiencing God's promise of eternal peace.
Okay, someone is grilling in here. It is smoky.
At this time, I would like to invite Greg Massa, Assistant Special Agent in charge for the FBI, to the podium.
That is an
Good
impressive.
morning. As the
That's a
Assistant
nice
Special
start.
Agent in charge.
Good morning. As a member of NARCS, the series. Sorry. I was like, I'm getting ready to cry. Have to make an appropriate joke.
He told them to go cook. Told them they were on their own. Now they're burning down the house.
Look, he wasn't Shatnering it up that much. He was just look, in this particular press conference, I'm not annoyed with him. Now, as it gets later in the timeline,
Fair enough.
I will lose my ever-loving peace with the man. Because he's like, be patient. And 5 years ago, we thought it was the other guy, so we had a new sketch.
In charge. My role is to supervise and lead the FBI's criminal investigations across the state of Indiana. 9 days ago, we had an agent that was participating in the search for the missing victims. And from that moment until this morning, we have stood shoulder to shoulder with our law enforcement partners here. The FBI plays an important support role in this investigation.
Morning, everybody.
God
Sergeant
dang
John
it,
Bryant,
I did it
Indiana State.
again.
We go through our speakers. I asked.
No, you've got to think that they have a severely compromised crime scene. I mean, you had hundreds, if not thousands of people, ATVs, horses, different things going in and around these woods. You had barely anyone on the trail that day. You had really only one surveillance camera that they're talking about at the Hoosier Harvest store. Now, I am hoping and praying that they have more than what they have in the probable cause affidavit, but it does not look like it.
Morning,
Yeah, it's
everybody.
kind of like
Daggone
We go through our speakers. I
I
asked.
it's
hate
kind of like the
everyone.
Brian
Please hold your
Koberger thing.
questions to the end of the press
It doesn't
conference.
seem like they have much.
Well, I mean, he has the creepy look about him.
I
So
don't know, but there's a lot of girls simping after him. It's really weird. I mean, who would simp after somebody who killed someone?
who would eat kale chips? The world is a strange place.
Yeah.
And then try to tell other people to eat kale chips. Like you want everyone else to be just sad at life too.
So at this time, I would like to invite Indiana State Police Superintendent Douglas Carter to the podium.
I love Psych. Psych is amazing. Seriously, watch it.
Wait, didn't he just talk?
Words tend to escape.
Wait, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I went back to the wrong thing.
Oh, Lord, woman.
We don't trust me to do internet.
Providing investigative help, whether that's running down leads, conducting
Hush,
Screw
interviews,
that guy.
helping with lead tracking
Quit
system,
logic.
providing intelligence analysis support, providing technical assistance. Every night, I update our FBI headquarters to our Deputy Assistant Director. And as the superintendent mentioned, this has been briefed to the FBI Director on 2 occasions. So whatever resource that the FBI has available, whether it's here in the state of Indiana or nationally, we have brought those resources and we will continue to do so. We were
No wonder
committed
they
to
didn't
working
catch
around
him.
the
They were
clock,
focusing
as
on
we have been
investigating
over the
Trump.
last 9 days, and will continue to do so until this case is solved. To the members of the community, when I
Okay, what is up with ties that look like frickin' picnic blankets?
I kind of think it looks slimming. Accentuates his girlish
met with our
figure.
behavioral analysis unit, and in their expertise and their experience, it is oftentimes even unwitting that a member of the community may have information that is germane to this investigation. And I'd like
Stop talking about Jermaine if he's not there. That is just mean.
He just bought a
Also-
thesaurus.
Also, this is doggone northern Indiana up near Gary, okay? Just say pertaining or having to do with.
I'd like the community to go back 9 days and go back to the afternoon of February 13th, Monday, February 13th, and just think if you had an interaction with an individual who inexplicably canceled an appointment that you had together, or an individual called into work sick and canceled an important appointment or a social engagement, and at the time gave
Really?
Every single boyfriend who was like, honey, I am just not even wanting to see Dances with Wolves for the 8th time.
Honey, I don't want to go see fireworks with you.
Every girl who was ghosted, sending in stuff.
My Tinder date didn't respond to me. We were supposed to go on our first date. Can you investigate?
Okay, JK D-Buck. My husband bought, for reasons that escape me, the new Mortal Kombat movie. And when the chick who's supposed to be the girl says, like, hey, meet me in Gary, Indiana, I was like, the hell is she talking about? She must be the only damn person still left there. And then it shows like a junkyard, and I was like, okay. On brand.
what would have been a plausible explanation. My cell phone broke, or I had a flat tire on my car. But in retrospect, that excuse no longer holds water. That may be important.
Seriously,
Likely
the
so, our
number of
behavioral
excuses I
indicators-
give to people, I would be charged if I lived in that city.
Well, again, this was handled poorly. They were all very emotional. They should have had someone that with the ability to look at it analytically, almost like
FBI.
no, he was the detective, and he was like he had Asperger's or something. I can't remember. Oh, I know. Mortal Kombat, and she's like, "Come meet me at my house in Gary, Indiana." I was like, "Heifer, please. Don't nobody live in no Gary damn Indiana." And then it's all full of like pit bulls and a freaking she's in a freaking junkyard. I was like, "Oh, never accurately depicted for once, Hollywood. Thank you." Serious hell. Just no, not Columbo. It was like it's the guy that it was a one-word name with Gary Shalhoub in it. Anyways, he's totally on the spectrum, but he's very analytical, and that's why they had him. Maybe is it Monk? It might have been Monk.
That's ironic.
That's it. I finally Salvador's like, "How does your brain work?" I'm like, "I can't even." They will figure out an entire united theory in quantum physics before we figure out how Mo's brain works.
Was he also OCD and
that
afraid of
this
germs and
individual
everything?
may have exhibited since the afternoon of May 13th. Did this individual travel unexpectedly? Did they change their appearance? Did they shave their beard, cut their hair, change the color of their hair?
Okay, so I can't
Superintendent
change
mentioned
anything
the
about
clothes that
me.
this individual was wearing in the photo. Did they change the way they dress? Did their behavior change? Did their sleep pattern is different now? Did they start abusing drugs or alcohol whereas they would not have? Have they been anxious, nervous, irritable? Have they followed this case?
Do they have a
and what
creepy
the
eye
media is putting
twitch?
out with a sense that is not normal? Have they had ongoing discussions regarding their
Did they buy a box
whereabouts
of Just
on
for
that
Men?
afternoon or thereafter?
Did they eat during
Please,
the
if you
day?
have that
Did
information,
they have water?
Yeah, I mean, it starts out, and for all the voluminous, information and clues, they have nothing. I don't think they have anything. I think, like I said, I am full on tinfoil hattery, Columbo without the false eye or the bald head. Thank God. But
Yeah.
I think this guy is a serial. I think they've got nothing. I think he's an Israel Keys kind of guy.
If they had anything, police hate tips. Police hate listening to people.
Because
They
all
would
you're
not
going
be
to get,
begging. Yeah.
all you are going to get is Lurleen. Well, now Cletus done told me he was out getting stuff from the laundromat, but he came back with not a one thing of laundry and a bunch of Mad Dog.
Yeah.
He has been suspicious.
And they're going to have to come through tens of thousands of bogus tips.
Yeah, so I don't know that looking at it now with a more critical eye, I'm very much doubting that they had now at the time this hit me all in the feelers and it still hits me in the feelers, but I'm still like y'all have not one goddamn thing. All 800 of you standing up there and then want to give us some crap ass sketch that you know isn't right and 5 seconds of some daggone video and one word.
And call that into the tip line. After this press conference, the FBI will be putting out a series of these indicators on our social media, so it'll be available not only to the citizens of this community, but across the state of Indiana and then nationally as well. We'll also be utilizing digital billboards, and in any way we can spread this message, we will. I'll just finalize my remarks just to say that to my law enforcement partners behind me, to the community at large, 9 days ago, the FBI stood shoulder to shoulder with you. We're not going anywhere. We will be here until this case is solved, and I am confident this case will be solved. Thank you.
10
At
years
this time, I would
later.
like to invite Captain Dave Burston, Chief Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police, to the podium.
It took 5
Thank you,
years
Tony.
to charge Mark Jensen with the most obvious case
We
of
do have some
poisoning
new
his
information
wife.
for you today. It's in the form of an audio file.
He's like me. They have these things called computers. And you can, I can, like it's like an 8-track, but you can put it on the computer now. And I had my grandson do it. Now I'm going to press this one button and I have him on the jitterbug just in case.
My dad has a jitterbug.
From
He wanted a
I need a
smartphone.
jitterbug.
He kept asking for a
Liberty currently had
smartphone,
with
so
it.
I got him a
We're
jitterbug
not
one.
going to play everything that we have. But Liberty had the presence of mind to turn on her video camera.
Yes, Jamie. I have a problem. It was D large.
Yeah, pretty well. Mayonnaise on their fries. That's definitely.
Well, yeah, that's sus.
Okay, so this is the part that kind of gets me now looking back at it. I mean, it was completely and totally within my feelings, and everyone felt really good that this little girl fought back and she took a picture of, her attacker. And in a way she did, but instead of saying, look, she was taking a picture of her friend, doing a big achievement for her friend, going across this bridge of death. Oh, awesome. Yeah, guys, watch that. I'm going over a case and you guys can always rewatch. That is super sus to me. But again, I have a weird texture. I don't like textures mixing. I did tell Tootly Pip that when I got to 1,000, I would eat beans and toast. But my inner Sheldon is already like, but it will ruin my toast. That liquid on a toast, my inner Sheldon is already like, no, Your Honor, I don't want to write the 30-page paper. I'd rather go to jail for 30 days. Thanks. Like is it the Young Thug case that the judge keeps having people write papers?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
First, the juror showed up the first day, then went on like a week trip out of the country and was arrested when she came back, and then had to write a 30-page essay. Then one of his lawyers had to pay for the prosecutor's lunch one day. And
Okay,
then another one got arrested.
I am just saying if anyone can find those papers, we will have a grift and
Oh,
read
God.
thon.
Oh, God.
I will
that-
read why it's important to be professional and have a jury duty.
Oh, God. And one of the lawyers had to write a paper about why it was important to be proper and respectful. Holy, we have to find that.
Yes,
We
Farrell.
have
If
we
if if you
Farrell?
if you find it, I will read it. Now I will also be grifting hard, like
If you find
super.
it, we will come. Wait.
That's why I didn't. That's why I stopped and said read it, because I thought that through. Salvador didn't.
I've had a couple drinks. I'm sorry.
Good intervention right now. Thank you, Farrell. Okay, we will definitely. God dang it! You, we just do not stay on freaking point. I keep stopping because rewatching this again, I feel the same emotions that I felt then, but I am starting to get more and more pissed off
Yeah.
because you will soon see what they gave us to work with when they're out here begging for us to tell everyone, like, was your husband eating spam
Corn,
yesterday?
popcorn, whatever.
Did he start to like lutefisk?
No, it's infuriating. I mean, 2 young girls are dead, and they don't.
Instead of coming out and saying, look, y'all, we don't have a lot. We are going to work our hardest. Yes, I did. Yes, I in fact did. Look, y'all, we are trying to survive with the hotness already coming into Indiana. And in Indiana, it is I'm going to say the word, but you're going to be warned. It is a moist heat. So, and there are people in this world who have decided to test the tensile strength of both denim and that button on those size 5, cutoffs that they just will not give up. And I'm afraid I'm going to be put out of commission for a couple of days because one of them buttons is going to go. I'm going to lose an eyeball. It's just how it is. Not to mention that apparently half of the population of Indiana decides that deodorant is just not a thing we wear in summer.
It's optional.
Yeah. Lefty pretending he has a job.
He has to go pick up his food stamps.
I see his expose. He's just working making memes. He's part of the meme culture thingy.
Again, we're not going to be able to share everything with you, but we are going to share
Because we
this
don't have
audio with
anything.
you momentarily.
They have
with the
shared
hope that
not
somebody will
doggone
recognize this
anything.
voice. And I want to be very clear that what you're about to hear is just 4 short words. Excuse me, 3 words. Down the hill. You're going to hear this.
Yeah,
play-
do you want to know what we got in the 5th year press conference? Guys, down the hill. It was a big thing. They effing called a press conference like, we got some new information. And they really, I mean, this is all they had said, except for like yearly updates where like, we're working hard and stuff like that. 5 years coming, they're like, we have some breaking new information. So everyone shows up. I mean, you've got, WTHR, RTV. You got all the W's there. Maybe even Jeb. I mean, he didn't have a job. So we all go down there. We're all like excitedly tuning in. And they're like, okay, well, so we could have had a different person tell us a different thing about a sketch. And we've added to the audio file. And we're all thinking, okay, that's good. And he's like, okay, we're going to show you this new audio file. Guys, down the hill. Do you recognize anything else now? People were pissed. And I will show you, we probably won't get to tonight because I'm not doing a 4-hour stream. But
Again.
yeah, even the lawyer, or not the lawyers, the reporters are like, the hell you say? They're like, "Well, yeah, it was," you could tell they were a little salty, like, you kinda had us looking at all these people we have done convicted in the court of public opinion about 5 different men." Um, and then within those, I think between the 5 and the 7-year mark, they got really testy with people on YouTube and different things, trying to do their own, investigating because they're like, "We don't want you to fall down the YouTube rabbit hole and everything, and we're doing our jobs." And we're like, "Okay,
Well, no,
then."
you aren't.
I mean, and maybe they do have things. I mean, they probably have, you know, intimate knowledge things that they aren't going to say
Sure.
in public that only the person that did it did.
Guilty knowledge.
But yeah, but it was infuriating that we had been, in good faith thinking we were looking for someone and had honest to God, okay, some of them were creeps anyways, but you know, ruined some people's lives. Like, the first suspect that everyone went in to was the owner of the property the girls were unalived on. He had his life torn upside down. I mean, he died, I think he was fairly old, but
He
he
killed himself,
aged.
or
No, he was old. I think he passed away,
okay,
but
the
you know
stress of
how,
it
like, they have
aged him.
the pictures of when you first become president and then when you end up being president and how haggard you look?
Like the World War II, like 17-year-old kid, and then 3 years later he's like 40.
Yeah. So, let's show this magnificent evidence that we, the public, were given to work with.
Played 4 times. The audio quality is not superb, but
It
there's
was
enough
filmed
there
on a
that
baked
somebody could
potato.
recognize this person's voice.
No.
And as Superintendent Carter said, not to rationalize away. If you hear this today,
Okay, here's my argument against that, and I know I'm pausing even though I said it. These MFers, these guys with this audio, and they must have played it over and over to themselves. They done talked to Richard Allen about 10 days after and continued to try to talk to him for a while because his Ford Focus was over there. So you're telling me that these guys who had, access to all of the audio
They couldn't do a comparison.
well, I mean, I guess they would have to have, but no one said, "Hey," I mean, I know I can't be the only audio learner that kind of, rolls things back and, "Hey, doesn't that sound like," or, "Hmm." I mean, because I frequently use the word guys or something. So if they at this time hadn't released guys, but they heard Richard Allen say, "Well, guys, I don't know."
Yeah.
Or maybe they had him say, "Hey," just for poos and giggles, had everyone say, "Hey, guys down the hill," just for, shits and giggles. It just, maybe that's something they can't do. I don't know. But that's what I would be doing if I was a police officer, like, not trying to give away evidence or anything, but for funsies, when my friends are drunk, it's like, "Hey, can you say guys down the hill? Why are you recording this?" It's
No reason.
Look, we could either eat Tide Pods or do this, or do you want a plank?
and you think, my God, that sounds like fill in the blank, call us,
Phil?
make an anonymous tip. Tell us who you think it is. Let us investigate it. If it's not the right person, they'll just be out a little bit of time.
You're
and they'll
welcome.
be
Have
cleared and they
fun.
can go on, and they'll
Or,
never
I
know
mean,
that you
Trust
what I
us.
mean.
Scout's honor. We don't have any evidence,
you may
but
tell us who the
we
right
won't
person was.
do
And you
anything
can be the
wrong.
person that helps us to solve this horrible crime. Micah, play the clip, please. Would you play it one more time? So that audio clip
That's it?
later today will be available on the Indiana State Police website.
Now you
You can
understand
simply go to
why.
our website and add the extension /Delphi.htm.
That sounded like a
There'll be a
washing
link
machine.
on that website that talks about the reward that is being collected now. Sergeant Slocum will talk more about that, the amount of money that's been raised towards solving this case. And really, money shouldn't be what drives somebody to want to solve this.
So what you are supposed to hear and what they later released, because I think that file was corrupted, or what they originally released was down the hill. So they just had it on a loop, down the hill, down the hill. Now at the 5 year later, they added guys down the hill. Look, Indiana leaves a lot to be desired as far as the that look. They mowed up the audio. It was not a boomer moment. That was a Mo moment. Okay.
Was the fixed version any better?
No, you'll probably hear it again, because the next thing, and probably the last clip that I'll play tonight, is a documentary that you don't want to learn how Mr. Beast made a giant thing of Orbeez in a storage thing. Look, it's Indiana. We just got like electricity and joined up writing, okay?
Got to make sure you heard it right.
Yeah, so but the next short clip that I'll be playing you is a local news station, and he did a more in-depth kind of Delphi Daughters thing, and they'll probably play it again.
Just a
But
sense
correctly.
of community and wanting to help and to get this person off the street. The image that you see there of the suspect, that came from Liberty's phone. I think many of you had speculated that before. We weren't prepared to discuss it at the time. We have more video. We're not releasing it. It's germane to our investigation. And it's important that we spread that person's voice.
Do you think they all got together and like, so what are we going to say about our investigation? And they're like, what about pertaining? No, that doesn't sound grand enough. I learned a new word today, Phil. It was in my word of the day calendar, and it is germane.
Far and wide for somebody that will recognize who that is and will call us and tell us. I also want to tell you that there will be a tip line. There's an email tip line. I'll spell it out for you, and it'll be on the website later, but if you want to copy this down, tips can be emailed to ABBYANDLIBBYTIP at CACOSHRF.com.
GHILCBTUR.
CACOSHRF.com. Phone number, email, call the Delphi Police, call the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, call the state police. Help us to capture the person responsible for these murders.
Call my cell phone if you're single. Actually, my cats were making some noise today, and I thought my air
As it
conditioner
started
was
out,
malfunctioning.
we volunteer because we care. I believe that's a way of life here in Carroll County and the Delphi area. As Captain Burstyn indicated, we now have monies for reward.
Monies.
I believe we're in upwards to around $41,000, with $25,000 being donated by the FBI, $10,000 by
Your tax money is being donated back to you.
So sweet of them.
I love you, federal agent watching this.
Yeah.
the Indiana Packers, a local business, the Andersons, have donated $5,000. Indiana Lafayette Savings and Loans has donated $1,000. They do that because they care. We need to solve this case. We have every resource that we can think of to prompt people to give us information. We need to get the murderer of Liberty German and Abby.
Okay, so this particular press conference, listen, we are a fluffy people in the Midwest.
I'll be right
These
back.
are no problem. So, yeah, we're sorry about that.
Abigail Williams into custody sooner rather than later. That will be the end of our press conference. As far as speakers at this time, we will entertain questions.
Why do they have that little girl in the way back? We're hold hands. They're going to do a duet.
Is there any specific
Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind and he was way behind. So he's looking to make a deal. Listen,
information that says the person is local or from far away? No. Could this be a stranger crime? That's a possibility. Could this be somebody that knew that the girls were going to be there at that time? That's a possibility. Nothing is off the table.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The only thing I would add is where the FBI can come involved, and if it does lead interstate or multi-jurisdictionally, we have that capability to stretch it further outside of this immediate community across the state or across state lines.
okay, and we in Indiana don't give the press a microphone. That would be just splendiferous, but we don't do that.
Let's go one at a time. I'll let you do your follow-up, then I'll come to you. What's your follow? Go ahead and do your follow-up. As especially, we know that there are going to be lots of questions that we specifically cannot answer because there are things that we do not want to tip our hand to the person that's responsible for this. That kind of information we're keeping close to ourselves. Is it reasonable to think that that's an area? One of two things happen. That was a chance encounter. That's possible. Don't think it's likely, but it's possible. Or that person knew that they were going to be there. That's possible as well. Those are things that we're looking into. Question over here. Similar to what I just said, there's specific pieces of information that we're not discussing. The best example that I can give you is if somebody is a victim of a burglary and then they're murdered, everybody wants to know how they were murdered. If we go into the details and we say they were stabbed twice in the back and they were shot in the head, then everybody hears that. And then we get tips. People tell us that, and the tip is useless. We're keeping information that will only be known by the person or by who that person told. And when that's shared with us, it will set off the alarm bells and we'll know. Greg, I'll let.
Well, one of those two is true. They have a magic 8-ball working on it in the back office. One of those, oh gosh, the little square thing you used to spend all your time in middle school, like who will I marry? And you had to pick a color and then another number. Look, many a math and spelling, I might have been doing those instead of learning math and spelling.
Let Agent Massa address that.
There has been no indication right now that this is part of a serial murder, if that's what your question is. So as of the facts that we have collected at this point in time, we have not tied it to any other known homicides.
So here's the thing, like when I, I'm comparing it to the Letitia Stalk case mainly because that was one that I kind of followed from press conferences to end point. And, you know, they had a press conference when Letitia was arrested, and they basically said the same thing. And before they, had put out the probable cause affidavit, they did say, hey, we have, some people that we suspect, but I'm not going to talk about it to the media, uh, in order to protect my case. They had results. I know I am dogging on the police, but these y'all, they are trying to put a gag order on the family because they've got a whole hell of a lot of nothing. And it's ticking me off that they made a big deal about finding this guy and we're finding out what they don't have.
We have other information that we're not sharing, and specific to your question, Raphael, keep in mind that there the likeliness, the possibility of more than one person. We're not saying that the voice that you heard is the same as this person here. This is all very complicated, very involved, and as much as we would like to tell you everything, more importantly, we want to solve the crime. That could be or could not be. The audio is also from everybody's phone.
Could.
So yeah, I mean, Fedorowski, like I said, they were already behind before they got a step in because you have to think that their entire crime scene was already compromised. Oh, I thought I was mute, and then I was like, "Oh no, he's just probably telling his cat to do something."
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. But their crime scene was already probably pretty much compromised. You have people stomping around everything where, depending on how professional this particular suspect is, and it very, yeah, and the fact is, they pretty much figured that everyone would be able to find something with this video, and
Well,
yeah,
I don't
you will.
blame. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I don't blame them because they were trying to find the girls, so they were trampling
Yeah.
everywhere. But they're just inexperienced though afterwards.
Well, I think so they did call in the Indiana State Police, but I mean, this is something that you have the amount of people there. It sounds like the person who did this left very little evidence. Going from what they haven't said, they haven't even said, how the girls. I haven't dug into how the girls were unalived, to be
Yeah.
very honest with you, other than I have heard that for one, they were quickly unalived, and the other, he took his time. But that is just pure internet speculation. This person I heard it from tends to do very good research, but again, it is the internet.
Sure. And with the way that guy looks and how he's aged, that's not. I don't see serial killers having a problem with jail and looking like that. That's the look of a guy who's innocent.
And to me, I know Nancy Grace and a bunch of people have made a big old deal about him, smiling in front of a, poster of the Perps, sketch. he's in Delphi. He's from Delphi. These were up everywhere. Or his daughter having a, Libby and Abby Strong shirt. There, he lives there. I mean, that is probably just a shirt that they had. The fact that he would get it, there are things that if you look at them in a certain lens, they are going to look like complete evidence unless you take into a factor that this is an incredibly small town.
Sure.
Oh, and then Jamie asked if those were your cat's portraits.
Yes. And there's my cat.
Yes, my cats have been all put away for the night.
If I try to do that, they just scratch at the door.
Well, I mean, my cats have a plethora of other people to go.
Yeah.
So again, she had the presence of mind to have the phone on and to capture video as well as audio.
So there have been other cases around the country. Like I said earlier, you might not have been here. Indiana is our state motto is there's only corn in Indiana, but the other one is the crossroads of America. So we definitely do. We are, I believe, 70. And then we have the pipeline from all the way down in Mississippi up to Canada. So there are a lot of truckers that go through here all the time. At this point, they have wavered from, is this a stranger or is this a local? And you have people from both sides of that getting, having very good points. But at this junction, they haven't shown the public anything. And I was really surprised when other YouTubers were going through the probable cause affidavit and kind of saying, look, they've really got this guy, because we went through it yesterday. And I was like, the hell are they smoking? Fedorowski, stop making me so hungry.
No, I can't.
Okay, the rest of this
That
is
is a
him
loop
just
that we played 4
saying
times for purposes for you.
no, we can't. So we're going to go to the local news doing a documentary that's about 20 minutes.
Okay.
We will try to stay on topic, maybe.
I'll try.
Oh, now, oh Lord, that's loud. Side note, my oldest daughter, this is going to be Rafael Sanchez from our local news. And his wife was my oldest first grade teacher. And so she was like, Mrs. Sanchez. I was just like, oh, for the love of all that is holy. Your husband is a local news guy. It's not like you're dating Ted Koppel, okay?
Delphi, Indiana, a warm winter day, and the crime that changed everything.
Is that the bridge?
13-year-old Abigail Williams and Liberty German were reported missing.
Is that too loud to you guys? I'm turning it down
a little
bit.
small. It's a little low.
Find who did this.
Okay,
Our community is going through a lot of this.
it's loud to me, so I always.
Can we pray that today is the day?
Let's find this guy. Now on RTV.
Well, I've been a machinist for
Delphi
15 years, so it's always loud or low to me.
This is the old Monon High Bridge along the trail.
That's the bridge? Seriously?
Yes.
Abigail.
Yeah, this
For
I
walking?
call it. Okay, technically, you're not supposed to walk on it, but again, when you're teenagers or
What's it
people
for?
that.
Railroad?
So it used to be an old railroad road, and like 30 yards away from there is a real human people bridge that your tax money paid that, you can like ride on it and bike on it and rollerblade if you were born in the late 90s. But no, people want to go down this. So that's why you can see that it's general practice that, I mean, you have people filing going one way. You rarely ever have like cross traffic.
Okay, I see why you don't want to go on this bridge.
But this, so the thing that's coming out right here, I don't know if you can see the cursor that I'm circling. Okay, I'm using my interneting skills. But that's what they call a platform, and that's where that's where Richard Allen said he, went kind of from here to this first platform, and then he turned around when he was
Okay.
out.
That's just
But yeah.
terrifying to me.
Yeah,
I have a
no,
fear of heights. Like,
that's why I told you guys, look, but even before my GIMP leg, I will make it my point to go in the next few months and go to the city of Delphi and get some footage and things like that. But
no.
there is a reason I will have to wait until school comes back in, because my feral and insane boys will try to run up and down that because they want to give me a freaking
heart attack.
aneurysm.
Yeah, so I won't go above the fifth story in a building. My mom was in a huge tower in LA during an earthquake on the 5th floor. She
Okay,
thought she was going to die.
I'll
It's
put
just
it up for you guys.
terrifying. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine.
And Liberty Libby German played, laughed, explored, made memories. They
so
were in this
freaking
area on the
dramatic.
day they went missing. And
For F's sakes, what is wrong with these ties? Gentlemen,
Looks like Gus Fring.
look, he is Rafael Sanchez, and he always says it like that too.
Looks like he owns a chicken franchise.
He is a meme.
and later found murdered. The killer is still on the loose.
Keller.
Someone out there knows something.
Very proud statement.
Yeah.
What do you say to that somebody?
How can I make you cry for footage? God, I hate these news anchors.
Yeah, believe me, that the level of dickishness just right there, like
there's helping somebody and being a monster for advertising dollars and views.
Well, he could have said, look, what would you like to say to get the story out? What would you hope that people would take away from this? What would you hope, moving forward? Instead, you're like, hey, have you thought about how your daughters are dead and who did it to them?
And how they felt in their last moments of life. God, it's just so cruel.
Well, they didn't fall. But I mean, yeah. Did you imagine they were scared?
I hate this.
We pray every day that we'll have peace someday. We just ask that people just follow that instinct, that gut. Even if you just have a suspicion, just call it in.
Abby and Libby did a lot together. Both girls loved music. They played the alto saxophone in their middle school band. Both loved photography and painting. The girls were set to play softball. Both shared a special friendship. It was Libby who managed to take a cell phone.
Okay, whoever edited their photos is like me, that I just got a new editing package that Mr. Mo definitely thinks I'm going to actually be able to learn. And I finally got like one thing to work. So I'm like overdoing that in every other frame. And my husband's like, you need to stop.
And you don't learn anything else. I was like that when I first learned to make memes.
Phone picture of a strange man on the bridge. He's the prime suspect.
They didn't leave each other's side. I don't know what happened out there that day. Was there was a chance or an opportunity for one to break off or split or make a break for it or whatever. But, I look at it as, two young soldiers that stuck, covered each other's back. Two best friends, I wouldn't leave my best friend's side, and neither did they.
There are no limits. Police are still looking for pieces.
Oh my God, this B-roll.
Billboards continue to alert.
Look, he has to, he's Action Jackson. No. I told you guys it was going to be a Rafael Sanchez kind of day, and now do you see why he's a meme in my own mind?
I distance myself. I try not to like be sympathetic to this stuff, but this just is pissing me off.
People coast to coast, not to forget the teenage girls. As people here remember the day, there was a call for a search.
Indiana were like, we have graphics.
Oh, they got a tax write-off on some
over 100 people out searching area
Adobe
last night, walking both sides of the creek bank.
Okay, so this particular, didn't pause on a. That would be the volunteer firefighter chief, and you could tell it was just tearing him up that he had to tell men at about 3:00 in the morning, like, look, we can't be climbing this bridge, we can't be doing this thing. You guys have families at home. You guys have to. I can't, in good faith, take you guys away from your family because you guys really wanted to.
He's right.
In Carroll County, police are set to regroup and restart the search for 2 missing girls.
Together, okay? That way we cover more property, quicker time. 21, copter 5. We have found 2 bodies. We are investigating this as a crime scene. We suspect foul play.
State police and the FBI have been on the scene now for several hours.
How big a douche do you have to put yourself reporting in a... He is the Ron Burgundy of our...
No, the Nancy Grace.
Probably.
At least he's not calling him Top Mom. Oh, good. Seeing access the Jody Arias channel.
Number of units and teams have been here trying to gather information.
Bodies have been positively identified as Abigail J. Williams, 13 of the Delphi area, and Liberty Rose Lynn German, 14 of the Delphi area. This is considered a double homicide investigation.
The 2 girls discovered in the woods, authorities asking for your help tonight. Their last Snapchat and the image of a man authorities would like to talk to.
And they now have enough evidence to call him the prime suspect.
We do have some new information for you today. Liberty had the presence of mind to turn on her video camera, but there's enough there that somebody could recognize this person's voice.
And if you're watching, we'll find you.
That's it.
More than 11,000 tips come in to our command center.
If somebody knows something, somebody has to know this person, recognize that voice.
It's not easy, and a lot of people are putting a lot of work into this, and we're hoping that the tip's there, and we're going to find it.
Right now, a tip hotline is open for you to take action. You can be anonymous. The number to call, 844-459-5786. With every sunrise, the families of the girls killed wonder if the new day will bring news of an arrest.
Sir, you will never be freaking Walter Cronkite. Stop it. All of them mixed together after this segment.
Arrest. Waiting for justice for Delphi's daughters.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Aiming to master his shot, Mike Patty knows precision and practice pay off during deer hunting season.
This guy thought he was
This
going to
area
be the
down
next
through here
Kerry Lake.
is some of the best hunting area that I have. Well, you can see the hooves, the cloved hooves going in. This deer's heading that way.
Look, to be fair, this is big news in Indiana. You're like, you found a big old deer. How many points did he have? Well, Cletus, he had about 17. We are going up on there.
Let's
Edith
hope he-
put the casserole in the refrigerator. We will be back. I will microwave it later.
Let's hope we find him before I need another root canal or my tooth pulled.
Children in his family, including Libby, were fascinated by the deer tracks and other wildlife in hiding.
You can see coyote
Wait.
tracks there. This next
Like,
season will be
12, 13-year-old girls are
it
fascinated
will
by
be
deer
different
tracks.
because
Okay. It may or may not be, somewhat traditional, a la King of the Hill for young kids if they are interested in hunting to go out with their whichever parent that hunts and, tag their first deer around here.
Okay, but girls?
Look, some girls are there is an entire part of Rural King with Pink and, Carhartt.
All right.
the time spent that usually you're just soaking in the great outdoors and the experience. There'll be a lot of thoughts running through my.
Sir, you are grieving,
Sorry, Cisoda.
but you knew you were going to be on TV, right? He's like, we need something to pad this out. Well, I hunt. Do you have a terrible camo shirt? I have 8. Raphael
I
just
have the
helped him pick out.
perfect one.
Raphael's like, this is the one with the acorn right over your nipple. Just that one.
Show me the scene. Okay, I know the perfect shirt for me.
My head, about the loss of Libby and how that has affected our whole family. So it'll be a different hunting season for sure.
14-year-old Libby loved the outdoors, and indoors, she was known for her chocolate chip cookies.
She was our baker. She could throw.
Again, y'all knew you were going to be on TV. Okay, maybe it's just me, but even to get on the internet, I dress up just a little bit.
I
Put
spent
on a bra.
3-4 minutes trying to pick out this shirt.
Apparently
just to be on this tiny stream. Or not tiny, but you know what I mean.
Small but influential.
And growing.
And
it's growing.
Yeah, if all of y'all would just go out and spread the good news of Mo to 10 of your friends.
The Church of Mo.
Yes. So I did have a question while we're hiding away from Rafael Sanchez, Shatnering the shit out of this. What do you all want to be called? Because all I could think of today was mullets, and I'm
Church of Mo.
Well, yes, but are you?
Oh, yes.
Are you motivators? I don't know. Y'all marinate on that. I have my own little edge of the degenerates in David's stream, and you guys can figure it out. Or maybe if I get invited to Nicholas's Friday stream, we will have that idea. We will figure something out. Yes to what, Farrell? Shatner or Calculon if you do Futurama?
Yes to give me our single friend's number.
You know what? Hey, Rural King has... Well, okay, they have all the candies I like, so I'm trying to stay away from Rural King right now, and they've... Awesome. Yes, if you guys would just go tell 3 of your friends, you'll only get 4 restraining orders.
Woohoo! I had to deal with that with a friend.
Listen, y'all. We can be like the Protestants and the Catholics and get along. Y'all figure out amongst yourselves what you'd like to be called.
Yeah, we're not Lutherans and Catholics.
Put together a batch of cookies like nobody. She'd come in, have it done in half an hour or so, have cookies laid out for everybody to eat the rest of the night.
Okay, as a cookie kind of snob, those are done
Those
all
did
wrong.
not look good. Yeah, I didn't want to talk shit about her cookies, but...
Well, I like when they spread out and they're little gooey molten.
Yeah.
I need to not be talking about some daggone...
Sorry.
All I got are some freaking Quest cookies, and they're good for what they are, protein cookies, but Son of a. You know what? The last 10 years, I have been in a pregnant and then get fit and then get pregnant again. God should give me back my get, skinny thing since we've both been spayed and neutered. And, I can't do that no more, like as a, gift. I do lawyer math.
But she's not an alcoholic. No true lawyer is an alcoholic.
I am working on it, but y'all, if you want to watch all the way after Tipsy, Mo, the Nicholas's Sweden Day stream.
I need to meet Nick. That guy is one of my favorites. I've never
Oh,
been
I
on
know.
stream with him.
It's hard because you're always trying to. It's networking and peopling.
Libby's paintings,
I know.
Libby's photography, Libby's skills on first base are sources of comfort. Then there's the use of sticky notes, another look into her soul.
She left me one day a note in my
The
sunlight.
sound effects.
I love you. Thank you for all you do for me and Kelsey. She made Christmas gifts.
Okay, is this asshole making them sit on the wrong side of the breakfast bar?
Yeah.
Grandma is over here having to turn her legs, and Mr. Priss over here is like,
I got all this room. Ha ha ha.
I mean, not
I'm
to be
taking
like,
over your house.
I mean, just looks so smugly there. Oh, the man just crawls all over me.
It's like the
Ugh.
discount journalist if he was Jose Baez.
Pretty much. I know, why the hell? Like, if I'm going to talk to you about, like your dead so and so,
Would you wear that to talk to somebody about their dead children?
I would not want to look like oh God, Gomez Adams, but to each their own.
Some of her teachers. Just kind of cute. She used, for her science teacher, she used the element table and made little blocks and spelled out teacher for her teacher.
That's cool. Yeah, she called me one day. I'd given her some money for some item at school or function. It was probably a $10 bill or something. So she called me up and said, Grandpa, with the change, can I give it to somebody else or somebody who needs something here at school? And I said, well, sure. Sure you can. So it's just the way she worked.
The Patties wanted to share these jars. They say they're filled with love. They contain messages from Libby's classmates.
Sarita was always so smiley and happy. You are a very good swimmer, and I won't forget that.
Okay, I'm with you. There should be a fine for making people, cry and stuff on camera for this. I mean, I get it, sort of, but it could be done in such a much more classy way.
Yeah. And she was so sweet and nice. Knowing she's gone is really hard. I miss her so much.
Nothing's ever going to bring him back. It's our job to fight, to keep it out there, to do whatever it takes to find this person or persons that has done this to them. This is our job now.
Full time.
Yes, it is.
Never ends.
Think about it from the time you get up to the time you go to bed.
Libby dreamed of becoming a science teacher. She was also interested in solving crimes or finding cures. Her curiosity in the sciences was serious business. She attended several classes up the road at Purdue University. Not far from here, the grandparents of 13-year-old Abby Williams are also heartbroken. Papa and Mima, as Abby called them, keep...
Okay, you guys, I have a dark, deep confession, but my girls do use Mamaw for some of their grandparents.
Oh, Lord.
I am not a fan, but they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
It is not It is not what I will pick.
I named my grandmother. I named everyone with two, like Ba or Da, when I was a child and barely talking. I named my grandmother Na, and it just kind of stuck.
We were always more formal. Just my mom always talked to me like I was an adult. So, it was Aunt Karen or, grandma.
I didn't talk till I was like 2 or 3. I'm autistic, so the first time I walked was like through the room.
To be very fair, though, you are doing more with a social interaction than discount Wish Gomez Adams here with that
And
face.
that's more of an insult than you realize.
No, I wanted it to be quite insulting.
No, but if you really knew me, you'd understand how insulting it is.
Keep her belongings just where she left them.
Her things are still here. We just can't. We can't erase her from our lives, and we don't want to. We treasure her coat hanging on the coat hook and her shoes on the shoe rack, and her bedroom is just the way she left it. Because she may have walked out the door, but she's here with us.
The path to cracking this case has involved interviews with more than 500 people.
The lead investigator and his team
And you're
are
on
not
a
lacking
path.
motivation. Their daily motto,
And
today
they
is the day, and it starts every
chose
morning
this
with a prayer.
Oh, you can see how upset Raphael was. Like, they're like, look, let the new kid come in for a little bit. And he's like, look, I'm going to be halfway down this path, and you're going to get one sentence, you asshole. And then I'm going to push you off the bridge, allegedly.
You'll trip. God, I hate news media.
I know, but they're like, no, it'll look really cool. I'll be walking, and then you'll jump in, and it won't look ridiculous at all.
As we
And we'll
gather
say
together
path while
today
we're on a path.
for our work that we've been assigned to, let's
Holy
pray.
modem,
As
Batman.
the officers
What
say,
the
today
hell?
is the day.
That's their motto.
You ever heard of
Among this
cable
team, State
management?
Police First Sergeant Jerry Holman is the lead investigator.
Today's the day. Today's the day we're going to get
They're like, okay, I need you to look like you are going to cry. So your Jimmy John order is going to be like 5 minutes late, okay?
And do you have an Ethernet cable I can borrow?
Oh, no, you are totally okay. Sweetie, you go and you watch the case. You can always rewatch this at any time. We are simply making fun of local media at this point. Warning, the media may hear conversations beyond this point. Even the police are like, God dang, Rafael Sanchez again out here sniffing for shit.
closer to the end. Today's the day we're going to get closer to getting justice for Abby and Libby. We have all worked tragic cases, nothing like this. I can't even put anything close to this case.
And since day one, it's been nonstop.
Well, there's not a day, probably not an hour that goes by that I don't think
We
about
do have
something.
a phone. We have a phone.
From
We are
20-hour
high-tech.
days to sleepless nights, there's one goal.
And when you see the pictures of those two girls, it puts it in perspective.
He's led a team of hundreds of investigators, all trying to find the killer. But tracking down thousands of leads hasn't come easy.
It's a roller coaster ride. I mean, you're up, you think you got something good, and then for some reason it's eliminated or whatever. And that's tough on anybody. There's no doubt that we've been faced with a ton of obstacles, and we maneuver through those. We've been faced with numerous barriers, and we just have to bust through them. I can't imagine what they're going through, and even talking to them, and you can see the raw emotions on their face, and they want to help us, and they have. They've been so cooperative.
And when it gets tough, he goes back to that saying.
It's definitely tough. I mean, I've choked up a little bit. I need to be here for Abby and Libby because I'm going to find who did this, and then we are going to hold them responsible for their actions.
Hundreds of investigators from state police, the Delphi City Police Department, the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, and the FBI.
That guy gonna body slam
Whoa
him?
there. Whoa there, Skippy. I know.
He did.
I'm telling.
He literally did jump in.
Oh my God, it's the Ron Burgundy. Like, screw off, San Francisco. Well, that escalated quickly. I can't.
Get out of
Yeah,
here.
he's
You
like
intern.
He's like, Skippy, you look 12.
involved in the case. They all have just one common goal. That's to find the killer.
Cautious investigates Paris LaBelle. At this moment, there's something that you can do. The FBI wants you to take a closer look at the people around you.
Camera
Report to
on
them
me
any
now.
changes in behavior or appearance. If it seems odd or strange to you, they want you to let them check it out.
If something just wasn't right, if that person started abusing drugs, if their sleep patterns have
Oh God!
Have you
my
noticed
sleep-
that
God,
this dude has not slept in 873 years?
guy looks like a
This is
vampire.
Delphi, Indiana. It is up north. I want to say 2 hours from me, and I live like at just the start of southern Indiana. It's near kind of Gary, and it's a very small rural town. At the 2010 census, they had about 2,600 people. I don't know. I did not background check the FBI. Yes, it's called Delphi.
We do know he was 19 when he started the investigation. He just aged like 30 years.
Yes. Well,
Wow.
he's an FBI agent. I mean, take that with a grain of salt.
I trust him.
But I mean, his appearance has changed since the. Although I think the tie is the same, so.
That's a Stranger Things reference,
changed.
right?
Any indicators like that, taken on its own, doesn't mean anything. But when
Erie is a real place, though.
Oh yeah.
you put into a broader context of the timing and the location of that individual may be pertinent. And I would ask the public for their help. We need that help.
The old Monon High Bridge is in bad shape. It is not meant for people to cross. But not until fencing went up a couple of days ago for repairs, people dared to walk on the wooden crossing. Indiana's second highest bridge is not an official part of Delphi's 10 miles of trails. That may change in the future after extensive fixes.
Thank you.
He smiled all the time. All the time.
Biden's build
The
back
mother
better.
who shares what justice will look like for Abby and Libby.
She was always
He is married to a woman. Now, the way I'm not saying nothing, but the way he kind of did this, and he just sits, he irritates the snot out of me. I'm just gonna, I know I have been subtle about it up to this point, but this kind of emotional, this is the same kind of BS they tried to pull with the Travis Rudolph, like, and he done cheated on her, and they were just, they were young.
You're just free to screw anyone you want.
Yeah, and then she's like, and they were just young scholars going to protect the honor of their sister who had been assaulted after surgery, and they were just there to talk. And nobody gonna talk. I mean, nothing was gonna happen, and just oh my gosh.
always in the middle of something, and it was always in a minute. Give me another minute. I'll do it in a minute.
And what you can do in just 60 seconds, that could change the face of the investigation.
Oh.
The reward for information
Oh,
leading
an
to an
investigation.
arrest,
Never mind.
more than $230,000.
And on RTV6. We now return to an RTV6 News special, Delphi Daughters, the untold story of Abby and Libby.
They got a new graphics
Abigail
package.
Joyce and Liberty Rose Lynn were typical teenagers. Libby often used the phrase,
It was a
"in a
tax
minute,"
write-off.
especially when asked to finish her homework or finish a chore. In 1 minute, 150 million emails are sent worldwide. 250 babies are born. There are nearly 4 million searches on Google, all in 1 minute. Now the victims' families are hoping
I
you
can
give the
make
girls
love in less than 1
1
minute.
minute.
So that's why we've asked everybody to give her that other minute.
Jesus Christ.
Do it now before something horrific happens again.
To look this stuff, to think. This guy put behind bars so he can't hurt anybody else.
You could put a stop this.
There's never going to be true justice for us because you can't bring the
This
girls
guy
back.
gets his inspiration from 60 Minutes.
You could bring closure to this portion of the case.
To close your eyes and listen to that voice.
Yeah, but 6
Okay.
ABC. Shit. I'll be right
Well,
back.
no problem. Here's my problem with the listen to the voice thing. They were exposed to this like 20 bajillion and 10 times. They knew the man. They talked to him. Everyone, I just, no, this is all sorts of fishy.
But if you can stop him, that's the best we can do.
One minute, a personal plea to you. Now let's talk about Abby. Her favorite question, is there anything I can do to help? It's that caring and joyful spirit that lets her mother smile.
Anna Williams shared her passion for photography with her daughter Abby. The 13-year-old also loved arts and crafts, helping build this birdhouse and knitting these hats for newborns with her Aunt Maggie.
She loved to make things to give people. She loved to just be around people.
That included her volleyball teammates. She also planned on playing softball for the first time this year. Grandpa Cliff was so excited, he drove down from Michigan to take her shopping for the new gear.
This is Abby's kitty Bongo.
Yeah, and she named him.
Yes, she did.
And Abby convinced her grandparents and mom, who's allergic to cats, to let the stray stay. And now the family's pain, immeasurable, following the murder of Abby and her friend Libby near the bridge they both loved.
Every morning when that sun rises, how do you keep going? In light of all of this?
It's the stories and the pictures. It's the funny stuff. You know, the things that we've said and done throughout the years.
So for you, what does justice look like?
Justice will be that deep breath that we get to take where my friends' children are sleeping in their own beds again and people don't worry about their children playing outside. Justice in the law enforcement. We believe in law enforcement. We believe in the FBI and everybody else that's been on this case. That's where the justice will come from.
Abby's family was looking forward to softball season. Her mother, her grandparents, and members of her stepdad's family all played softball.
It's amazing, isn't it?
The global grief with Delphi's daughters and the heartfelt messages.
Somebody out there knows. I'm just asking them, please make the call.
Smart.
Take a look at the purple and teal ribbons. And when night falls, Delphi glows. Orange bulbs light up the city. The goal, to let them shine.
So right now, if you would like to, I have my own little section. I don't know if you are a member of MLS Law Show. That way, it's called Mo Schmo, I think. But if you want to put anything in there, I will definitely take a look. I still have about 4 more videos of just things that have sort of been kind of major touchstones in what the media covered before all of the shenanigans with finding Richard Allen came up. So awesome. Okay. Yeah, but put it there and we will go over it. My plan is to have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday be my stream nights for the major case. I will probably realistically only be able to do one kind of deep dive case at a time. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or maybe just Monday and Wednesday, I'll be doing that. Friday might be probably, chat's choice of, if you guys find a People of Walmart edition of a court case, a court, an interview, an interrogation, something you want us to review or me to review, then that's probably what Fridays are going to be. And then Saturdays are going to be maybe a bit longer, or I might just. Yeah, there have been a lot of things going into the family. So this weekend, my longer thing will be finishing up these particular prior to the arrest. Um, prior to the arrest media things, and then I'll start going into the suspects, the people that, very first thing. I mean, it was days after the bodies were found that there was a search warrant executed on the gentleman whose property the girls were found on. So there were a lot of false starts. There's a lot of people that have, looked deeply into the families and gone through that. There have been there's been all sorts of speculation. There are two suspects that I find more intriguing, and we'll get to them. But yeah, it's basically like the Jack the Ripper. Everyone's done been Jack the Ripper.
Seriously?
Until Abby and Libby's killer is off the streets. The murders are drawing international attention, with letters arriving from around the world.
The girl's death hits close to my heart, as I have a granddaughter who's 13. Colorado, Lakeland, Florida, the Netherlands, Australia, from Indianapolis. Although I
Australia
do not
doesn't
know
exist.
anyone in Delphi, I would like to.
Like, although I'm from a country that does not exist.
To give the families this money. These are what we're getting. Denison, Texas, Lafayette,
Dude,
California,
don't
Lockport,
step on my
Louisiana.
keyboard.
It's amazing,
Don't
isn't it? Our hearts
step
go
on
out
my
to you in your time of
keyboard.
sorrow. We have children and know how hard this would be if it were our child. Oh, I'd love to meet them. Thank them for the prayers and the support sent with loving memories of your little girl. It's affected lots of kids, a whole school. They all made cards. Here's a Fort Myers, Florida. No, we don't know these people. We've had a couple from England. It's quite humbling. They think we're this special.
Nearly 3,000 people call Delphi home. It's about the same size as New Palestine, Pittsburgh, or Sheridan. The Wabash and Erie Canal drew business and the early settlers. Delphi became a city in 1866. There's no questioning the outpouring of support for the families. Storefront posters of the suspect are everywhere. There have been multiple fundraisers and
see, that's where, I mean, I know everyone in the media is like, he took a picture in front of, like, the sketch. But, I mean, you just saw there wasn't a place you could take a daggone picture. I mean, I am hoping, like, everything crossed that this is the guy, that they've got more. But I am fearing very greatly that my logical side is like, there is nothing there. And they are going to have people so confused, on law and cuck and in America that, don't understand that, he's not guilty if they can't prove it.
Yeah. It's more than likely going to be not guilty from what I've seen. I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they don't have to update the probable cause affidavit. But again, the scuttlebutt going around is that there's nothing.
vigils. When we return, the dream for Delphi's daughters.
Our community is going through a lot of this with us. So it's their love, support, prayers are what's helping us get through this.
And the Mower Shop in Fishers.
The legacies of Abby and Libby will not only play out in the hearts of those who love them,
We are
but also
proud
among those
people.
who raised money through fundraisers that will help build a sports complex, including a park and softball fields in memory of the girls.
I see beautiful things for our park, for our families, for our community to be involved in for years and years to come.
Nothing's going to bring them back. Then we can do this to at least have a little piece of them here all the time.
The Libby and Abby Softball Park Fund is being managed by the Carroll County Community Foundation. You can mail a donation to P.O. Box 538, Delphi, Indiana 469230538. Online, www.cfcarroll.org. Click on Libby and Abby Softball Park Fund. One of the best gifts that you can offer is to call if you recognize that face or that voice and give Delphi's daughters 1 minute. For the call 6 investment.
Be funny if he
Okay.
just fell off the bridge. OSHA
Unfortunately,
wouldn't approve.
Unfortunately, and spoiler alert, since that was 6 years ago, this was done on the anniversary of their death. So when we get back together, probably on Saturday, I'm going to push through the fairly short kind of update every year they would do things. Then I want to go through and compare and contrast the Letitia Stalk probable cause affidavit and the one that we went over, because I know not everyone got to see it. So I figured the weekend we have a chance to do a little bit longer.
Sure.
That's kind of my plan. Also, I am teasing this, and most of you guys are on David's Discord, but Church Lady, you know.
Moral church lady.
So it's one of those jumper things. And then this is a Sailor Moon duster because Hot Topic has an online thing, and I don't have to go into that loud store with people that I don't understand.
Trying to get their big gauge rings.
Oh, yeah, I'm more of because they'll always send me little like surveys, and I want to get $5 off for the next time they have Sailor Moon stuff. But they're always like, well, what do you think about the store? And I always tell them, look, I am very close to like turn that goddamn music down and get the hell out of my lawn age. So I don't know that I'm your target audience. So if anything, I would just say that the music is too loud. But again, not your target audience. So the plan is, yes, Monday, Wednesdays will be this case. Fridays will probably be either some sort of funny thing, like if you guys have a people of Walmart, you guys are all in David's Discord, or some of you guys will be, or mostly are. If you guys find a case that is full of, all of the Walmartness that can be done, send it my way. I will love, I love me some cringe. So, if we have the story behind the woman of size that was on top of the Prius naked in David's Discord, if we've got the story behind that,
Is she single?
I am willing. She does have a gravitational attraction to things.
I mean, it just says a hell of a lot about Toyotas. They are safe cars. I would be gladly in one in a rollover.
It's those Hyundais you got to worry about.
Yeah, don't you dare go on a Hyundai, woman.
They're like, not the Kia.
It's a Kia Soul.
I'm not touching that one. But anyway, so that's my general plan, is that Fridays are going to be kind of fun stuff. Now, in honor of our two most pale compatriots doing rap trials.
Oh.
Well, I was thinking Jeff and Nicholas doing the okay, I'm gonna mess this up. Young Thug and Young Melly, or is he just normal Melly?
Normal Melly. Normal Melon.
Oh.
Melanin.
Oh. Stop it. Either way,
Past 2 hours.
if you guys could bring or now I know you're going to be very shocked by this, but I don't know any of their songs, but I want Church Lady to react, but I also want to keep my channel, so it's not going to be a blind react. So if you guys have, any of their, I'm sure illustrious career installments, send them my way because Church Lady is going to react. And that is probably it for tonight. Like I said, we're going to finish up kind of the little blips and blops that they did, anniversary wise. We're not going to cover the kind of 5-year M. Night Shyamalan like switch with the sketch until probably the next Monday because I want us to have time to really go over the affidavits and kind of see where they're different because that one's fresh in my mind, and I think you guys will really see the difference between what they had. I know it's apples to oranges, but
I
it's
wasn't
still
asking you to scratch. Sorry.
it kind of proves kind of the point. So that's all. Salvador, if you would like to grift.
Just follow me on Babu the Aussie Cat on Twitter.
Okay, awesome. And then that is where we are going to leave you. Like, subscribe, all the YouTubey things. I am running a for-profit charity, so I always say that. My mom's like, "You need to stop." I'm like, "No, it's hilarious." But it is what it is. Have a wonderful day, and I will probably see. Maybe if Nick wants me to come on tomorrow, I will. But other than that, this Friday, I kind of have nothing planned. I was going to do the family thing.
Oh boy, lucky you.
Well, All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.